Well, hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 99. We're going to do our first ever Whitesnake misheard song lyric, and it's from Here I Go Again. The misheard song lyric is, like a twister, I was born to walk alone. And then the correct lyric is, like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this misheard song lyric from Whitesnake, I just had a conversation with a friend's boyfriend this weekend, and he had brought it up that his cousin used to think the drifter part was twister. And so I thought, you know what, let's do it. And I'm so glad I did, because you'll find from some of the things I found out through the interweb that this specific part of the song had actually another name or actually word in it. So this is actually very pertinent to this misheard song lyric. So let's start. So Here I Go Again is a song by British rock band Whitesnake. It originally was released back in 1982 in their album called Saints and Sinners. And then the interesting thing about it, and I don't see this a lot, but the power ballad was then re-recorded for their 1987 self-titled album called Whitesnake. So 5 years later, they took the same song and re-recorded it and kind of changed a bit. And not only did they re-record it, they also changed the music video. So there's two music videos. So if you look online, you'll see original, and then you'll see also the 1987 version. So I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so speaking of that, how did it do? Well, it did quite well with the re-recording. We see here that it actually hit #1 in the Billboard Hot 100 chart back on October 10th, 1987, and also did well elsewhere. It hit #9 on the UK singles chart on November 28th, 1987. And then the 87 version also hit #1 on the Canadian singles chart on October 24th, 1987. So good for them from taking that 1982 song and redoing it and giving it a new feel and sound. So let's talk about the background of it. So the song was written by the lead singer David Coverdale, former Whitesnake guitarist Bernie Marsden. So the guitarist and the lead singer created it. The most notable difference between the original and re-recording pace is, so if you go online, and please check it out, I will share it also in here, a clip of it. But in the original version back in 1982, it sounds very like calm, not as much of a power ballad, and it has this kind of like church organy feel. It's really weird, and that's the original version. And then the new version, or the 87 version, is definitely a power ballad with all the pow, in it. And the video also goes with it. So the re-recording of the song in 1987 was advised by record label bosses Al Curry and David Geffen. And they did it as a negotiation deal with Coverdale to re-record Crying in the Rain for the band's self-titled album Whitesnake, released in 1987. The re-release was this song of Here I Go Again. Now, here's where it gets so interesting. So the misheard song lyric was, some people have heard, like a twister, I was born to walk alone. Well, the chorus of the original version of the song is, here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a hobo, I was born to walk alone. Hobo, H-O-B-O, not twister, or not the re-release version of drifter. So let's delve into this hobo lyric, okay? Back in an interview, Coverdale explained that initially the lyrics had drifter initially, but as was already used in different songs, so he instead chose to use the word hobo, which for those of you who don't know, a hobo is this like cute version of a homeless person, essentially, and you see it in cartoons back in the day where this loving character has this cute like red polka dot little satchel that they're carrying over their shoulder, and they're unemployed. Well, maybe they're unemployed. I don't know. They might be employed, but they're definitely homeless. And so that's what a hobo is. And he said that when he re-recorded the 87 version, he changed it back to drifter from hobo because he said, reportedly to ensure that it would not be misheard as homo, which, yeah, you can kind of hear that. So I thought that was interesting. It was hobo before it was drifter, or drifter, hobo, drifter. So there you go. So let's talk about the music videos. So the 1982 music video, very tame compared to the re-release 87. If you go online and find it on YouTube and you have to type in original music video of Here I Go Again, you see Coverdale, but still with that backlight. Loves that backlight behind his hair, but his hair is like a deep, dark brown, not his ratted out, blonde, you know, bleached version that you see in 87. And the 82 version of the video only just has the band. You don't see dun dun dun, Miss Tawny Kitaen. So in the music video for the 87 re-recorded video, it was directed by Marty Kalner, and the video includes, besides, of course, some band stage performances. And again, the band looks even different. They even look more, you know, hair bandy, where in the 82 version, it's like, it looks like some guys from Santana. I mean, like a totally different looking band. And it has an appearance by then model Julie E. Tawny Kitaen, who, no surprise, was married to Whitesnake's David Coverdale from 1989 to 91. And it's very noticeable, her sex appeal. It's said over and over with many articles. Apparently, her unchoreographed scenes, she's dressed in this white negligee, which at that time was like, oh my God, scandalous. Clutch my pearls. It really clothed her a lot, but it's just the way she wore it. She was very sexy. And she's moving, writhing around, cartwheeling, doing a back, I wouldn't say flip, but a back walkout, for those of you gymnastics types, on the hoods of two Jaguars XJ, which I guess the white one belonged to Coverdale, and then the black one belonged to his co-writer of the song and guitarist, Marty Kalner. So did you know, part two, which I did not know, that during the making of this 1987 re-version of the song music video, Coverdale shared that he actually even brought choreographer Paula Abdul to the set to show some moves to Miss Tawny Kitaen, his girlfriend at the time. But apparently Miss Tawny Kitaen explained that she couldn't show her anything. That's what she said to Miss Paula Abdul, who at that time was, you know, pretty big in her own, with her own self, you know, album. And she also was a choreographer for many people like, I think, Janet Jackson. And prior to that, she was a Lakers girl. So she knows a thing or two about dance moves. But Miss Tawny Kitaen said, no, you don't have anything you can show me. Whoop, snap. And then speaking of the Jaguar, Coverdale's iconic white Jaguar again appeared in his music video for single Shut Up and Kiss Me from their 2019 studio album, Flesh and Blood. So it came back, so he must still have the car. How did it do? It did well. Like I shared earlier, it was #1 in the Billboard Hot 100 chart back in 87. It also is only the Whitesnake song to actually get any airplay on adult contemporary stations, despite the fact that Is This Love reached number 38 there, and the song did not chart at all on the AC charts or adult contemporary charts. So that's pretty interesting. So I don't know if you heard, but speaking of Tawny Kitaen, she's no longer with us. She did pass away. She actually sadly died on May 7th of this year, 2021, at the age of 59, so very young. There's actually a Rolling Stone article by an Andy Green published on May 11th, 2021, so 4 days after her death, that's titled Flashback, Tawny Kitaen Cartwheels to Video Immortality in Whitesnake's Here I Go Again. And there was a lot of things I didn't know about her. I mean, all I knew that she was beautiful. She could do cartwheels on Jaguars. She was married to Coverdale, but she was actually on the cover of Rat's first album and appeared on Seinfeld and in Bachelor Party. But again, it's the being on the hood of those two Jaguars that brought her to being famous. So in this article, Mr. Andy Green talks about, you know, how she's being remembered. And even the article, he says, quote unquote, her appearance on the cover of the 1984 Rat album Out of the Cellar and her role as Tom Hanks' fiance that same year in Bachelor Party is what a lot of people probably remember her by from the 80s. And for some that remember the show Seinfeld, I know even some people have not been born that I actually work with today. She also played Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriend in a 1991 Seinfeld episode called The Nose Job. And then she actually had a marriage after Coverdale to Major League Baseball pitcher Chuck Finley. And I remember her because she came back into kind of existence to me is when I was watching VH1's 2006 The Surreal Life, where it's almost kind of like a Big Brother, kind of. I mean, they have all these famous, or was famous people, former famous people in a house together. And it's actually quite touching to see how they interact with each other. She was on that Surreal Life in 2006. And apparently she was actually on a 2008 rehab with Dr. Drew, and I guess just recently she did a botched to get her breast implants taken out. So she's been in and out of the public eye, but not as big as she was back in the 80s, of course. And because of that, in this article, it says here, quote unquote, even by the exceedingly high standards of models, actresses, and video vixens, Kitaen was extraordinarily beautiful. This was written by pop culture writer Nathan Rabin wrote in a recent tribute. He says, but she was more than beautiful. She was luminescent. The camera loved her. She had that ineffable X factor, I would agree, that makes someone a star. She had swagger. She radiated sex and life. And I agree. I mean, I remember being 15 at that time when that video 87 came out, and all the guys in school were like, did you see that? Did you see Tawny Kitaen? And it was weird to see her in 2006 afterwards, you know, struggling in the surreal life. And hopefully she finds peace where she's at and with all the struggles she's had up until then. As of yet, Here I Go Again video has been viewed 97 million times on YouTube, and of course continues to grow and grow with people like me checking it out and others ever since her passing away. So for that, they say in this article that she will live forever young, forever limber. I love that. And the image is iconic with her in her white negligee doing the back walkout and all that. So there you go, Miss Tawny Kitaen. But I love this misheard. Again, friend, cousin, he shared it, thought it was Twister. Really was Drifter, but it used to be Drifter to Hobo to Drifter. Now you know. So if you have some great ideas like this, misheard, please send them our way. We're at every social media site you can think of. We're on Facebook with Misheard Song Lyrics. We have our Instagram, Twitter, and we also have our Misheard Song Lyrics email at misheard, MISSHEARD songs @gmail.com. And once again, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.